Hey, everybody. I know most of the time I'll be late and y'all kind of used to that. But right now, I'm working on some technical difficulties with my guest. So y'all just hold tight, continue to hold tight. That's what I want y'all to do. I'm here, I'm coming. Just hold tight. Hello, and welcome to the RealRam fam. On my channel, I intend to provide you with a safe platform to discuss the intersections of your entire being, to be able to be comfortable in your own skin, in mission or position. There is no one like you, and we all have a purpose and message. I, for one, am a Black woman, mother of 4, a military veteran, and a wife, and a social worker, just to name a few. From my channel, I hope that you learn more about military families and social workers. 3 of the social work values are my aim in each video: importance of human relationships, dignity and worth of the person, and social justice. No matter what you initially think when you hear social worker, there is more to the profession. Trust me. Stay locked in by subscribing to the channel, and be sure that you hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Without further ado, on to today's episode. What's up, everybody? So it's having a little bit of technical difficulties with my guest. So I was trying to give her some time to break out those bugs, and she was here, and then she just got dropped again. And so, in order to kill time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna revisit the conversation from last time, where I was talking about Steve Urkel. And what I want to do is, since I kind of left you all hanging a little bit on there's a few details that I kind of left off. And so keep in mind, I am not saying that Steve Urkel has autism, right? Because I'm not the writer, nor am I his therapist, his psychologist, or his psychiatrist. But I am saying that there are shared symptoms that a lot of people with autism have, and he displays a lot of them. One of the things that I realized that I left off. There's a couple of things. I want to talk about where I spoke on fixations on things. Actually, so with Steve Urkel, he could not sense danger, right? And because it is a spectrum, right? How I'm going to talk about this, that's where this fits in. Danger being the spectrum. Also, the social aspect of things. So I talked about the fact that he busted Eddie out with conversations that he heard, and he couldn't read the room, and he didn't realize that he shouldn't share this information because it's private. Also, I talked about the fact that Steve Urkel was able to speak up for himself. He advocated sticking up to the bully. Both of those situations potentially could be dangerous, right? Because he could end up in a fight. Now, the reality in the show on other episodes that they tend to have us forget is that Steve Urkel was well versed in martial arts, right? But the potential danger in that is that he could get beat up, right? He can get beat up. Somebody could run up to him at any other time, and it could be a dangerous situation. Well, how I want to kind of tie that in into autism is that some children, a lot of children who are on the spectrum, cannot sense danger. And how that looks is they may run out into the street without looking both ways. They may continue to play with knives and forks and other things, and they're doing this beyond the age that you may deem is appropriate. Now, again, it's a spectrum, right? Speaking up for yourself to a bully, telling secrets and things of that nature, that's not equivalent. But what I'm saying is because they didn't really write it in that he has autism, I'm just saying that that is one of those things that I kind of thought about that I didn't discuss. I didn't discuss that they don't sense danger on the same playing field that the rest of the neurodivergent children do. So Miss Antoinette is back. So we'll see if her bugs have been worked out. Let's see. Can you hear me? I hear you.
Yes, and ditto.
Okay.
Finally, I hope this thing knows something with this computer.
So I was just trying to kill time. I was trying to kill time while we waited on you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start this thing out the way that I do with everything else as soon as I bring you back in front of me. I'm gonna start this thing off the way that I do with everyone else. And we're gonna do the icebreaker. Are you ready, Em? Are you ready? Soon as I
Yes.
you ready for the two icebreakers? And I hope so. You heard what I said though. You heard what I was
Yes.
saying about the danger and all that. Okay. Look, I had everything ready. Then
Yes.
I had you like on split screen and everything. And now I gotta find it again. Why Apple Max be so darn confusing. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up this icebreaker and here we go. You can see that pretty well. You can see that, Miss
It's
Will?
still loading. Let me look right here.
I can see it on my screen. You see it? Did we
Yes, it
lose
just
you?
it just popped up. It's like see, it's kind of like delayed.
Okay.
See, no, I'm here, and it was delayed. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna go
but
to
this
the
second is
to the
still
first
spinning on
one.
the second. So yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Oh, the cup is half full, glass is half full.
Okay. And what's inside of it being put in it?
Water. Pour. Well, when you pour into. It's not the glass like the water in the glass. You're pouring into the glass to fill it,
Mm-hmm.
and you pause. Okay. Yes, I see hair. I see the word hair now.
Okay.
Here, sneakers, different kind of tennis shoes, the different types of shoes, different colors, shopping cart.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, hold on.
A hand basket, a wallet. See, now I see the
Okay.
hand basket,
Yeah.
wallets, who's different colors. They all look the same, but they're different colors.
Mm-hmm.
A purse.
Okay.
Don't know what's inside of it. That's an alley, like an alleyway.
Okay.
And decorations, well, those are backgrounds, with photo
So, and
backgrounds.
the thing that is in front of the door or as you're walking through the house, like what are these things that you call them?
Oh, hallways,
Okay.
hallways. Yeah, they look like, yeah, they look like hallways. That looks like what's that? Freeze icy. They're actually they're actually one of my favorites. I still get them. Yeah, those are homemade, like the homemade. That's like the homemade version of the ices, what we would call
Uh-oh.
ices, but they were fun.
I don't know if that's your internet or mine. When you fill in the blank, what is that?
I'm spinning now. Okay, that's a boat, BOAT,
Okay.
boatload. Am I delayed?
And no shirt. What do you call those shirts?
Computer is taking a long. It's taking a while to load. Two white tees. They call, I
Okay.
guess, the bad stipulation.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
see,
So,
I can see it on now. It's really delayed. Now I can see it on the wife
okay. So
beaters,
no, you said
t-shirts.
white tee. So which one is it?
And I think, look,
White.
I don't know, that was a stigma, but they call it wife beaters.
Okay.
That's
So
wife beaters.
the important question I forgot to ask is, where do you call home? Where are you from?
Actually, I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. Yeah, from
Okay.
uptown. I graduated from Roosevelt Senior High School. Went to Clark Elementary, Paul Junior High.
Okay. So that's
So
that
yeah,
DC
what
talk.
they call
Okay.
homeboy, homegrown. I like that better.
Okay. All right. So
I like
so,
homegrown better.
so then the next question is, do you have siblings, and what is your birth order?
Let me try to. Uh, I can't hear you. I'm trying to. I can you hear me? I can hear you.
Do I
Can you
do?
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it's delayed. It's weird. I have one sibling, and we are actually about 15 years apart. So I was an only child for a long time, but I do have one sibling. I said he's my brother, and yes, we are 15. Actually, about 40 next year.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, I was, and it's just us two.
So I wish I could tell if this was yours or mine. So are you familiar with the personality traits of the children? I'm gonna share this with you. Oh Lord, soon there we go. I'm gonna
I
share
know
this.
you can.
You tell
I
me.
heard the first part, but it keep breaking up. I didn't hear the.
Yeah, if you think this describes you.
Okay, and it's much better on my tablet, but I don't. Okay.
So while we wait on Miss Will, remind people that again I am my mother's only child. So
I'm
this
doing it.
definitely fits me. Um,
Even though
except about I don't know about the center of attention. I don't know about that part being accurate. No, no.
oh, maybe I could see that maybe early on, but I didn't really. Maybe I didn't feel the need for the center of attention because unfortunately, me being a little person, I was always the of attention. So I didn't need to seek that because I always got the attention when I didn't want it. just just because of my uniqueness. So I can see how
Mm-hmm.
actually only child's be. My manager is an only child, and I see popping. I can see, and he's 60, and that just being the only one and having the stage is still prevalent.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on here. So today you are here. Let me pull up my other window. You are here to share with us what it is like to raise a child who is on the autism spectrum. And before we jump into that, you said you heard what I said about Steve Urkel. Um, some did you hear the other episode? Yeah, I don't think that that's me. I think that's her.
Yes.
When it comes to Steve Urkel, um, are there any characteristics that he has that you think suits suits him to be qualified as possibly being autistic?
No what let me, cause Let me pause. Let me mute. I can hear it's coming up fast. And I cut you down. That's what happened because I didn't want you to hear both. See, it's taking forever to mute. There we go. Let me pause.
Yeah, I hear it. I heard the feedback. So I went over the fact of not being able to sense danger. Then there was another thing that I realized that I did not discuss, and it was the social aspect. So also with children who are on the spectrum, their social preferences may or may not be what you think that they should be, but what you would hope that they are for your neurodivergent children. They may or may not be motivated by joining in on the crowd, right? You may want or expect that your child is going to go jump in and join in on the conversation, go join in on the games, want to go hang out with friends, want to go to the movies, want to go to all the social events. And they don't want to do that. And you may at first think that your child may just be shy. You may think that your child has a difficult time making friends. And that may be the case. They may have a difficult time making friends, but it may be because others are looking at them as being weird. And it could just be because their interests are different from everyone else's, or when they get honed in on that specific thing that they like, and there's others who don't like that one thing. So like I talked about the last time, they may like Legos, let's just say at that particular age, they may like Legos and they only want to play with Legos. So if you go take them on a play date and the other kid wants to, so right now, let's just say it's a boy. You take them over to someone else's house, and that other little boy, he wants to play cars, and he wants to play with the army men, and he wants to draw, and he wants to do whatever. Well, right now, your kid is in that phase where he only wants to play with Legos. And so that other little kid may not want to play with him, and they may not want him to come back, because his interest is in the Legos right now. Or it could be, vice versa, that kid is only into books right now. They're only into drawing right now. And so if they don't find that group of friends who likes that same thing that they like, they're just not interested. And then, of course, it sticks with them as they get older. And so they paint Steve Urkel out as being just a nerd. Well, amongst nerds like the same thing, but nerds don't get so caught up on one particular interest. So also, what I did not talk about also is that you may get frustrated with a child who has autism because you have to repeatedly tell them the same thing over and over again. And I am talking about past the normal age, right? You're used to telling your child something over and over again until, maybe about 5 years, right? The same exact thing over and over and over. I'm trying to think about with this is again another one of those things that they didn't really show. So because again, they weren't really trying to say that he was on the spectrum. But and then when you look at your child before you know that they're on the spectrum, you would be like repeatedly telling them how to let's say clean your room, right? And you're repeatedly telling them over and over again to clean their room. And up until like 5 or 6, whatever, you're gonna find that to be normal, right? As you're repeating yourself, you're even showing them how to clean their room. You're gonna find that to be like normal, right? And then we understand that when our children become teenagers, we kind of repeat ourselves, and we find that to be normal. But in between that time, and then also as teenagers, you're gonna be like, I've told you this over and over again. Why am I repeating myself? Why are we going through the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again? It's like, I know you can hear me, you can understand me. And so that's one thing to understand as well, which also leads back to one of the earlier signs that you may miss, is that your child may or may not hear, right? Or they just hear differently. You may have to get up close to them, or they may be sensitive to sound. I kind of went over that with in the first episode. But them being sensitive to sound may or may not get diagnosed as them being deaf or being hard of hearing. But you as the parent may just think that they're being hard-headed or defiant, and that just may not be the case. They just kind of hear differently. Also, it comes along with the fact that um, you may have to demonstrate while you're giving instruction. You may have to color code things while you're giving these instructions. And like I had said before, it kind of is similar to ADHD, where they get a little sidetracked, and then the visuals help, but the visuals being color coded and being step by step helps, because then they can see, and it's like color coded, which is why, as I mentioned before, with Thomas the Tank Engine, I don't think I shared why Thomas the Tank Engine is very appealing to children on the autism spectrum, is because the faces are very, very clear. The emotions are very clear, and they change every time. If you go back and you look at Thomas the Tank Engine, you can see that every time one of those engines was mad or sad or confused or whatever, it was very visible. But in people, they can't really sense that. They can't really sense the emotion. Um, and in Steve Urkel, taking it back to him, that is one of those things that they kind of on the edge showed his ability to do, right? He couldn't really read the situation or read the room, but he wasn't really clear on what was happening because he couldn't sense, right? He couldn't see when like Carl and them were getting mad, or he would be just like very matter of factly. And that's another thing. What I didn't say is, you have to be. They are very literal people. It's very literal, very matter of fact. So even though, going back to the situation with Eddie, when he told about Eddie being a virgin, it's very matter of fact. Like, why are you lying about it? We're gonna tell the truth. Telling the truth is the right thing to do. We're not gonna talk about and we're not gonna lie on Laura. It's a matter of factly. But to read the situation and read people's faces to know, hey, I'm uncomfortable with what you're saying. Hey, I'm about to get upset. He couldn't do that. And children on the spectrum, or people, they can't always read that. And so, as I said, when you compare it to Dr. Sean Murphy, yeah, he could not do that at all. And the fact that his part of the spectrum was where he wouldn't even really give eye contact, yeah, he definitely wasn't able to do that. And so, since I'm still carrying on this by myself, um, what I would do is I will take this moment to kind of be a little bit more transparent, is how I know. about autism is because I have a child who is on the autism spectrum, and I found out later in their life. So I was not, I don't know if some parents call it fortunate or unfortunate to know what was going on. And so some of those symptoms that I pointed out of a child being hyper focused on one particular thing, I saw that at a younger age. Um, there was some stimming activity that was going on, that how my child comforted themselves. Um, what else? Sensitivity, um, taste. Uh, my child has a preference for food. My child was very sensitive and still is to touch, and not necessarily like your touch, the human touch. It was not really liking tags on the clothes. Um, and we had to use like certain detergents and things like that. And this child has a very good sense of smell, very good sense of smell, very good palate, and taste everything, taste and smell everything. Um, Also, with the repetitiveness, yes, this is where I am with this child. It's past the time of where I should be repeating certain things, and I have to still do that, and it's very frustrating. And so, me not being the average parent out there, where I have knowledge, as a social worker, as a therapist, there's things that I have learned, but it's frustrating, and it's more so frustrating for me because I did find out later in life that this is what was going on. And so the repeated, uh let's take the dirty room, not cleaning up the room, the losing of school papers, the backpacks that's filled up with the crumpled up pieces of paper, things that we think are just a child being a child, things that we think is just a child being, not necessarily misbehaving, but being irresponsible. These are things that was one of the signs of your child being on autism spectrum, because it happens repeatedly. And then if your child happens to be a boy, you may also get in the habit of being told or believing this is just what boys do. No. Yes, sensory processing. Thank you. Sensory processing. That's what it is. Your five senses. Too easy. Too easy to remember that. Um, so yeah, I see Antoinette's trying to come back. Um, and so what else? Also, um, also past what we think is an acceptable age for your neurodivergent child is, I'm going to call it helicopter parenting. You have to continuously remind your child to do something. And again, as I have said, everyone's experience is going to be different. But in my case, it's the continuous reminders that I have to do. And not only do I have to remind, I have to like show how to do it. I have to show every time. I have to like be there and ensure that it gets done. Because if I said it once, I may have to say it 3 times or 4 times, or stand right there and watch it get done. I may even have to help it get done, because with your neurodivergent child, you can say maybe once or twice to tell this child to go do something. You can tell this child to write it down. You can put it on a post-it note. And with some of those children, that may help, particularly if your child has ADHD. Those reminders are supposed to help. It's supposed to be cues that help prompt them. Even when you say things in a conversation, your child is prompted to be able to link what you said to something else that you said, and then they can do that, but not necessarily with your child who has autism. And in my situation, that is what's not happening. If um let's say let's say we're having a conversation and I say, hey, was that applesauce good that you just had? That applesauce, right? Um, but we don't even have any more applesauce in the refrigerator. And we're on our way to the grocery store, right? So with your neurodivergent child, you can say, hey, by the way, how was that applesauce on your way to the grocery store? And so they may say whether it was good or bad or whatever the case may be. And then they say, oh, and mom, we don't have any more. While you're walking up and down the aisles in the grocery store and they pass the applesauce or you pass the apples or whatever, and they may say, hey mom, we need some more applesauce because I finished it. And that may not be the case for your child who is on the spectrum. They're not gonna link that together. That is my situation. And so it's like, and then I get home and it's like, yo, why you didn't tell me that we didn't have no more applesauce? So that could be, it is very frustrating. And so then you have to kind of remind yourself that you don't have a neurodivergent child. And so you have to kind of be patient with your child and be patient with yourself. Um, Antoinette was here and then she's gone again. Um, what else? Um, if you happen to have a child who is highly functional, as I do, you also will have to deal with people telling you and telling your child that they know that your child is better than that or that they are capable. We know you're smart. We know that you know how to do this. But it's like, can they really? And do you really know? Do you know? Because you told your child, they told your child, and specifically who I'm talking about, I am talking about the school system. I'm talking about school. If they're saying, um, I told such and such how to do the assignment and they didn't ask any questions. So I know they know how to do it, or I know they know how to do it because they got an A or whatever. Yeah, but did you see how they were reacting when you were talking? Because sometimes your child may have a cue that they're not comfortable. Some children, they may start tapping their finger, they may start shaking their leg, they may start humming, they may look away, and then the teachers don't know what that means because they're not paying attention. So at this point, I see she's back, and we're gonna try this again and see. Let's see. It's dark and you're muted, but we'll see if you're there. No, don't look like she's there.
I'm here. You can. I'm here. Can you hear me? This thing is
Yeah,
really. I don't know. It keeps. Oh, can you hear me? I'm here.
yeah, yeah.
But you keep
I was trying to
closing
hold it
out.
down while you was going.
Oh, my eyes watering. And I can hear on this tablet. So yeah, I don't know. So a lot of the things that you mentioned, I can relate. I don't, I don't see you.
That's great.
And born when he was younger, I was noticing. I picked up on the signs, the small signs that they say when they're younger. First, he wasn't babbling. He wasn't saying many words. I really didn't pay didn't notice too much of I guess, eye contact or those type of things. But I definitely had noticed that he wasn't so.
Well, we losing her again. It really sucks that we're losing her. But if anybody
Me,
is watching,
come on.
if anybody is watching and you want to type, some stuff of your experiences. Okay, you're back. You keep going in and out. You back. You want to type? You want to type? You want to try it that way?
Right, and that's what I don't know why I keep doing it. And they keep live streaming, but it's still was searching on the separate ones. Now I have the.
You want to type? You type? You want to try it that
way? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her type. No, it's not letting me.
It's I guess.
So what I was saying about school. So the schools and educators are going to be expecting one thing because they're focused so much more on education. They don't really understand the whole person and all of that. And so what we have to do is there's things that we got to learn and we got to speak up and advocate for our kids because they're going to keep treating our kids like the neurodivergent child. So those who are watching, if you there's a lot that I could say, but I'm trying to leave this for others to share their experiences and then save mine for last. But what else can I say? So I was talking about school. I mean, I can go on and on and on about school, being the fact of when I worked inside of the school and not really thinking and how they don't take care of our kids. Understanding that whole process of getting your child a 504 or IEP and then them getting the behavior support services, like that is a whole thing all in of itself. And then is it even helpful? Because then if you use the school's services versus an outside services, and then then in the end, the school is going to get more money for your child if your child graduates. But did the school help your child? That's the main question, and that's what I want to know. So I put you back up there. I'm giving you one more shot before I call it quits today. So, yeah, the school. I can go on and on about that. So my little buddy here, how do you advocate for your child within the community, school, or healthcare system? I'm trying to advocate by ensuring that I keep you guys well informed, sharing the success or challenges that I've encountered while advocating. It's always with the school. It's with the school, but also with ensuring that my child is getting the services that they need. Oh, it's using the same language right back at them for sure, and helping my child advocate for themselves. They're gonna ask questions. They're gonna repeatedly ask questions and continue to use the same language that the educators want to hear. When it's time for the 504 to get reviewed, I'm on it like a month or two before. And then when they falling through the cracks and they not meeting it, again, I'm on it. And I'm sending in emails like, so what happened? How come this particular teacher don't have a copy of it? Whose responsibility was it? Who's this person? Who's that person? Yeah, I'm on it. But I know that like the average person isn't able to do that, or they may get frustrated. So because I don't want to keep going on and on, but the next person who would like to come on and share their story of how it was, how parenting is for you, how's it going? Please, you got the platform. It's here. You're more than welcome. Because definitely my experience, it's not your experience, and that's the whole point. Everybody's story is different, and I definitely would like to hear your story and how it's gone for you. So I'm not gonna hold you all any longer. We had enough internet problems that did not resolve itself. And so until next time, I thank you for sticking with me this long as I tried to stick with Miss Will. Maybe she can try back another time. But we'll see. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I would like to thank my guests for joining me, or simply thank you for watching the pre-recorded episode. No matter what your birth order is, how you self-identify, and whether you like pancakes or waffles. If this is the first time you're hearing it today, I want you to know that you are loved. You were put here for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be sure that you like and share the videos, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. This is RealRam out.